Hi, I'm Saad, CEO and co-founder of Citelighter.
I'm Jokl, COO and co-founder of Citelighter.
I think both Lee and I have been entrepreneurs our entire life. We've loved negotiating. I've had separate businesses in high school and college, and this just was a natural fit. I think the most exciting thing about entrepreneurship is it's not really a job or an occupation, it's more of a lifestyle in the sense that you kind of identify a problem. And once you identify that problem, you form this sense of myopic vision and you just don't stop at anything until you reach your goal. And it just becomes this incredibly exciting journey because in life you very often encounter obstacles and you say to yourself, man, I can't do it because of that obstacle. In entrepreneurship, you kind of look at that obstacle and you go, well, what's the fastest way to get around it or actually go right through it? And you just don't let anything stop you. And I think Lee and I really connected well because we just don't see problems. We just see things in the way that we have to get around in order to reach our goal. And so when people tell us no, we don't hear no. We just hear, okay, well,
Maybe.
yeah.
I always think no is a maybe. And also, we both have worked at big companies, and I think that was a big problem that we had with working in corporate America was sometimes you do encounter a no, and in your mind you're going, well, that's just a maybe. I'm going to figure out how to get over this hurdle, but then you run into all these other walls that you don't believe should be there. You're like, if it were up to me, I could just do this. I know I could do this. Why are they stopping me? And so you bang into enough walls, eventually you just sort of say, I think we're going to do this ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just how we've always been. Saad and I were troublemakers growing up. And I don't want to go into too many stories there, but the point is that when you take no as a maybe, you typically get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And so I think that spirit has always been there, so even before we met each other. And like Saad was saying, when you be able to channel that energy into something that's not so troublesome, but more in a positive way, you can do a lot of good.
Our parents, when they get together, have some amazing stories, and I think both of our parents have just earned themselves a place in heaven for dealing with the two of us because we've caused them so much stress. Every single thing I do is a complete result of actually everything I've learned from them, right? My father was one of 11 brothers and sisters. Mom and dad had no formal education. They grew up in a village with no shoes. 7 of the brothers and sisters went on to get PhDs. The eldest brother went on to become the national war hero of Pakistan. There's like a national holiday, main highways named after him. And right, these are all it's just amazing how that family specifically leans so towards education. Father came here, got a PhD from Stanford, went and married my mother, and where most Pakistani men didn't educate their wives, forced my mother to go through high school and through college, and she's now the commissioner of the capital of New York State. And so for me, literally, their lives have defied odds, and they have been entrepreneurs in their own right and really kind of created this path for themselves, which they thought was where they wanted their lives to go, and it was all dictated by education.
Both my parents are, my mom's a pediatrician, she's a doctor, my dad's a lawyer, so they both have gone to college and grad school, and they always really emphasized education for me. And so when it was time to start, when we had an idea for a business, obviously we both really valued education so much so that we would want to focus our business in that area. But I think another thing that really has influenced my life and as it relates to how I got to here right now, my dad, after law school, he decided he didn't want to work for the big practice. He didn't want to go and work. He wanted to just open his own little practice because nobody could tell him when he had to be at work or when he didn't have to be at work. And the harder he hustled, the more money he would make. But if he didn't want to hustle that hard that month, he'd go golfing. It was really up to him. And I kind of like that as an entrepreneur, you get to really see the fruits of your labor. You kill yourself, you're going to do well. You're smart and you work really, really hard. You're going to get as much out of it as you put in. And that was just something that has always stuck with me, that I wanted to be in a place where I could really see the results of my hard work. And I in any job I've ever had, I never really felt that until Citelighter.
For me specifically, I was set to go to medical school, and I worked my entire life to get there, and it was an amazing an amazing education. And when I told my parents what I wanted to do, and it's in complete relationship to how having an education allows you to realize the potential that you have in your dreams, very much like they did. There's not much they can say because they did exactly that. So while it killed them that I had so much money in debt from all my education, they said, if that's what you really want to do and you want to help other kids become better, you have our blessing. And then when they heard I was doing it with Lee, at least they said, well, if you're not one idiot by yourself, you're two.
Yeah, I mean, I think that over the last 30 years, both our parents have heard us come up with crazier ideas than this. So I don't think that too many things really shock them at this point.